Hi, this is Tutor P, and this is Word Origins 260. The word origin today is whitewash. Okay, somebody wants a screenshot. Do it right now. Let's get right to it. All right, we got 4 meanings and 4 uses for this video. So here's the first one. To paint with whitewash paint, which contains limestone and water. To brighten walls or cover dirt or unpleasant marks. Okay, so this was the original meaning. The second one, which is probably the most common meaning, if a person says that another person or government or organization is whitewashing something, he or she is accusing them of hiding the truth, unpleasant facts, or scandals in order to make it seem normal or acceptable. So we often say that, the media is trying to whitewash or the government's trying to whitewash. All right, the third meaning is in sports. To beat a team all the games in a series or to cause them not to score any points or runs. Now, ironically, this I think was originally an American in origin. But Americans don't really use it anymore. So if one team beats another team like 3 games in a row or all the games they're going to play, in American English, most of the time we say sweep. Like the Yankees swept the Red Sox. So they played each other 3 games and maybe the Yankees won all 3 games. That would be a sweep, where we say they sweeped them. And if there's a game in which one team doesn't score any runs, we usually say they were shut out. They were unable to score any points. That's the more common use in American English. But I think in British English, they still sometimes use this one to say they whitewashed them. All right, let's go on to the next meaning. Next meaning is the most recent one. It's probably only been around for a decade or so. Making black actors more white-looking in films or replacing them with white actors. Now, the usage of this phrase is more recent, but the actions were from a long time ago. Hollywood was probably more guilty of doing this like in the 1930s, 40s, 50s. Not so much recently, not so much probably... I think after the 1970s, not so much really. But before that, earlier than that, maybe you could accuse them of that. But that's what they mean by to whitewash. So in former times, especially in black and white, sometimes they made black actors look more light, almost like they were white looking. Or sometimes they might have even had a white actor play a black role. So this term of whitewashing applies to that as well. All right, let's continue. Now, the first known use of the first one, which is the actual painting, meaning dates back to 1591 in regard to painting walls, buildings, barns. It was done with barns, supposedly a lot to cover, any dirty marks or anything like that. All right, let's continue. One of the earliest uses in regard to covering unpleasant details dates back to 1800s. In the 1800 in the Philadelphia Aurora, here is the quote: "If you do not whitewash President Adams speedily, the Democrats, like swarms of flies, will splatter him all over, and make you both speckled as dirty wool and as black as the devil." So since the 1800s, they were already talking about trying to cover up maybe any scandals or anything that seemed improper about him. So they were already talking about whitewashing. Or just to review it again, speedily just means fast, like swarms of flies, like a lot of flies. They'll be all over him. Of course, this speckled means there'll be like all spots all over him too. All right, let's continue. The origin of the use in sports came from the idea of a scoreboard. Okay, being white. If the losing team did not score any points or runs, the scoreboard will remain white. So that's kind of like it was whitewashed, okay, basically. All right, and we got a number of uses here, or a number of examples. Here's the first one. Many houses in the Greek Isles are whitewashed for appearance and to help sanitize them, and was originally used basically to stop the spread of cholera. Yeah, because supposedly in the limestone there is some antibacterial property. So this is another reason that they painted white. Now, I've been to the Greek Isles, and anytime you see photos of the Greek Isles, you always see these houses they're all painted white. You always used to say, why are they all white? Why do they like white so much? But I guess we know now because they're whitewashed. It's supposed to not only does it look nice, but it also supposedly keeps away bacteria and things like that. All right, second one here. Many journalists will whitewash stories to cover scandals of political parties they support. Yeah, again, this is probably one of the most common uses you hear, especially in regard to politics. All right, number 3 here. The administration is trying to whitewash their inept handling of the crisis. So sometimes the head government tries to do it themselves. They try to make it seem like, well, we didn't really do anything wrong, or try to hide, anything negative about it. Number 4, she whitewashed her opponent to win the match. Right, this is the one in sports, so probably means she didn't let the opponent score any points, basically. Like I said, probably more common in British English today, but originally American. All right, number 5, Hollywood has been accused of whitewashing roles of characters in films from decades ago. That's like the one I explained before. I just left the sweep and the shutout there as kind of a reminder to remember that in American English we more commonly use those words today. Anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it was clear. I hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.